I work on a German military base and just saw something I can't explain. Life on a military base is usually pretty routine. You follow the same schedules, see the same people, and nothing much ever changes. I've been stationed at a German military base for a little over 2 years now, and up until last night, I could have said that every day was pretty much the same as the one before. But now, everything's different. It was a little after midnight, and I was on guard duty. The night was cold and crisp, the kind that makes your breath visible in the air. The base was quiet, the only sounds coming from the occasional rustling of leaves and the distant hum of machinery from the maintenance hangars. It was the kind of night where your thoughts have room to wander, and you start thinking about all the things you'd rather be doing. I was walking my usual route along the perimeter, my flashlight cutting through the darkness, when I noticed something strange in the sky. At first, I thought it was just a star, maybe a plane or satellite passing by. But as I looked closer, I realized it wasn't moving like any plane or star I'd ever seen. It was a light, a bright, pulsating light, hovering silently in the sky above the base. I stopped in my tracks, narrowing my eyes as I tried to make sense of what I was seeing. It wasn't very high up, maybe a few hundred meters above the ground, and it was completely silent. There was no engine noise, no rotor sound, nothing. Just that light, pulsing rhythmically, almost like it was alive. I reached for my radio, intending to report it to the control room, but something stopped me. A feeling of unease, like I shouldn't draw attention to myself. Instead, I just stood there, staring up at the light, my heart beginning to race. Then, just as suddenly as it had appeared, the light started to move. It drifted slowly at first, then accelerated rapidly, shooting across the sky in a way that defied all logic. It wasn't moving like any aircraft I'd ever seen. It was too fast, too agile. It zigzagged across the sky, stopping abruptly, then changing direction in a way that should have been impossible for any man-made vehicle. I finally managed to shake off the paralysis and grab my radio, my voice coming out shakier than I would have liked. "Control, this is Bravo 3, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "I've got a visual on something in the sky. Can you confirm any aircraft in the area?" There was a brief pause, followed by the crackle of static. "Bravo 3, negative on any aircraft. The airspace is clear. Can you confirm what you're seeing?" I hesitated, glancing back up at the light, which was now hovering motionless again, as if it was watching me. I don't know what it is, I admitted. It's just a light, hovering, and it's not moving like anything I've seen before." "Copy that, Bravo 3, came the reply, the voice on the other end suddenly more alert. "Maintain visual contact. We're sending a team to your location." I lowered the radio, my eyes never leaving the light. I could feel my pulse quickening, a cold sweat breaking out on the back of my neck. The light began to descend, slowly at first, then faster, as if it was coming straight for me. I took a step back, instinctively reaching for my weapon, even though I knew it would be useless against whatever this was. Then, just as it seemed like it was going to land right in front of me, it stopped. Hovered there, just a few meters above the ground. The light was so bright now that I had to shield my eyes, squinting to try and make out any details. But there was nothing. Just that blinding pulsating light. And then, as suddenly as it had appeared, it shot back up into the sky, faster than anything I'd ever seen. It was gone in an instant, leaving nothing but the darkness and the cold night air. I stood there for a long moment, my heart pounding in my chest, trying to process what had just happened. The radio crackled to life again, the voice on the other end sounding more urgent now. "Bravo 3, what's your status? Do you still have visual?" I fumbled for the radio, still staring up at the sky where the light had disappeared. "Negative," I said, my voice barely more than a whisper. "It's gone." The response was immediate. "Stay put, Bravo 3, we're sending a retrieval team to your location now." I stayed where I was, my mind racing. What had I just seen? Was it some kind of new technology, a drone or experimental aircraft? But it didn't move like anything I'd ever seen before. It defied all logic, all the rules of physics that I understood. The retrieval team arrived a few minutes later, their faces serious as they took my report. They asked me to describe everything in detail, where I had seen the light, how it had moved, how long it had been there. I told them everything, though I could tell they were as baffled as I was.